Last week, I shared all of my favorite ways to get out of a slump. So now we are out of the slump. We're feeling a little bit better. We've got that motivation going. So in today's video, I want to share with you 5 ways that I am habit stacking to double my productivity. This is a big habit stack. Right next to our coffee pot is our tea kettle. And every single night I put fresh water into the tea kettle because that way first thing in the morning, I can add 1 to 2 ounces of my lemon ginger tonic. And if you've never made the lemon ginger tonic, I will link the recipe for you down below. But it's just a highly concentrated tonic that's beautiful for our hormones, our liver, our digestive system, and overall detoxification. So I just put that's about 1.5 ounces in there of the lemon ginger tonic. It's a concentrate. You can make it in the juicer or in the blender. And then I add the hot water directly to the tonic. We start our day extremely hydrated, number 1, which is super important. Secondly to that, we've done something really beautiful for our digestive system, our metabolism, our liver. All night long, our bodies are detoxing. They do this naturally. We don't really have to do much except for get out of their way. So this is such a beautiful way to help our body wake up first thing in the morning and finish off that detoxification process. It's been doing it all night. Let's help the liver flush out all of that bile. Let's help the digestive system get moving, get grooving. Let's rev that metabolism first thing. Let's get a ton of antioxidants and vitamin C in first thing. And it's right next to your coffee pot. So once you finish this, you can go right into your coffee. It makes it really easy to put these 2 habits next to each other. 1, because it makes sense. Secondly, you hydrate first, but you do it in a really thoughtful and intentional way. So if you haven't tried my lemon ginger tonic, it's probably the most popular thing I have ever posted on Instagram and in my YouTube community. You guys love this. It's such a staple in your daily life, which means the world to me. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But yes, this is just a beautiful way to habit stack your hydration in a very intentional way with your coffee. This one's a little bit more self-serving, but oftentimes I find that if we bring in a little bit of self-care, it helps us feel more productive and not as zapped at the end of the day. So I absolutely love listening to either a guided meditation, an audiobook, or a podcast while I fold laundry. 1, I tend to fold the laundry much faster because I'm not tempted to pick up my phone and scroll. That's a huge part of it. I also do this at the end of the day when I'm doing the dishes. I will listen to an audiobook or a podcast, and it prevents me from looking at the notifications on my phone, replying to text messages, scrolling through Instagram, getting back to direct messages. We all know, obviously, all of those things slow us down. And I find that I'm more excited to fold the laundry or do the dishes if I am listening to an audiobook or a podcast. So I will link some of my favorite audiobooks, podcasts, and guided meditations for you guys in the description box down below. But I highly encourage you to do this. It's such an easy way to bring in a little bit of extra self-care while also getting done some of the chores that we all have to accomplish on a daily basis. Big habit stack for me is that in the afternoon, it is roughly 1:45. I'm getting ready to make an afternoon cup of tea. This is something that I've been really focusing on since December. I noticed that after school tornado can be really overwhelming for me. I talked about this last week, and I've talked about it quite a bit on my Instagram page, that I've had to consciously make an effort to end work by like 2:15, 2:30, end all of my calls, get up. I tend to make a cup of tea, finish off some last emails, and that's where this habit stack comes into play. And then my next tip will also play beautifully into this as well. But I have found that if I have this cup of tea, I take my magnesium, I do a little bit of tidying up, that between the hours of 3:45 and 8:45 is a lot less stressful for me, because if I have everything tidied, I've done a little bit of self-care in the act of enjoying my cup of tea, unwinding a little bit, that it truly helps me so much. So what I have done to really get the biggest bang for my buck out of this afternoon cup of tea is I, of course, will make like either the Tulsi tea or the lemon balm tea. I am making the peppermint because I do want like a little extra boost. And the habit that I stack with that is every single afternoon I take these together as I make my tea. And of course, I take one of my BioOptimizer's magnesium breakthroughs. So by taking this magnesium, it really helps me kind of calm down the nervous system, focus in on getting this last little bit of work done. Sometimes I'll sit down at the computer and be like, oh, I don't want to finish these emails, or I don't want to get through the rest of these emails or schedule these meetings. It just is like tedious work that I'll schedule in between like 1:45 and 2:30. And it's most likely the work that I've been pushing off because it's administrative stuff. And so this just helps me kind of zone in and focus and feel relaxed. Also, speaking about feeling relaxed, because the hours of like 3:45 until 7:45 or 8 o'clock, these hours can be the most stressful in a mom's entire day, that and like the hour before you have to get your kids out the door to go to school. So I find that adding in my magnesium and having my tea really just centers me. So now it is February when I'm filming this video, even though it's like 50 degrees randomly today when I'm filming this video. In the summer months, I do still drink my tea because I'm a tea drinker. But if you live in like a warmer climate, what you could do instead of having that afternoon tea is that you could just do a little bit of extra hydration. This is just a water with some electrolytes. This is the LMNT watermelon electrolytes. I have been obsessed with these, loving this electrolyte. So you could pair these together, which would be a beautiful combination. Or you could obviously, in the cooler months, have it with your cup of tea, which is what I typically do because it does feel like that beautiful warm hug. And so for me, this practice has just been really grounding and relaxing. And you guys know my love for layering things on top of each other that really support our body. And so the tea is obviously a little bit of a boost. It's an herbal hydration. It has all of the incredible and beautiful tannins from the peppermint in there. And then as far as the magnesium goes, you know my love and obsession for probably 18 months of the BioOptimizer's magnesium breakthrough. So where this magnesium differs from any of the other magnesiums on the market is it does combine all 7 elemental forms of magnesium in one convenient capsule. So we can often associate magnesium with feeling sleepy, and sure, one of the forms of magnesium is better for relaxation, but we also can associate magnesium for better brain health, better musculatory health, relaxation of joints and pain. So for cramping, blood sugar regulation, there are so many different uses of magnesium. And the beautiful part of the BioOptimizer's magnesium breakthrough is that you can take this morning, noon, and night. And that is exactly what I do. I take 1 capsule in the morning, currently 1 in the afternoon, and 2 before bed. Sometimes if it's been a really intense week, I might need to take 3, but if I take 2 before bed, it is like TKO. I mean, it's not going to like put you to sleep if you're standing up and like walking around, you're not going to feel drowsy. But the second I get into bed and I'm like unwinding and relaxing, it takes me no more than 5 minutes to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to sleep now. And then I sleep straight through the night and I wake up in the morning like, whoa, what just happened? But taking magnesium during the day is also critical to my routine. So this habit together, stacking these two, this cup of tea and this magnesium, has just been so helpful for me at feeling productive because I can get so much done in a short period of time. I think people are often surprised when I tell them that I'm actually not in my kitchen cooking all day. I wish that I was, but I'm actually in the office on client calls for most of the day, or I'm in different meetings. So I have to be extremely efficient in the kitchen as well. And the way I have done this for the last decade and a half is that I've really strategically, or either this is lazy or extremely strategic, I'm not sure which one, but I always look for really quick shortcuts that add a ton of nutrition, but not a lot of time. So this 5th habit stack is one that I highly encourage you to give a try, and that's to add greens to 2 meals per day. If you're already preparing food, like if you're making a spaghetti, I always show how you put arugula at the base of my bowl, and then I'll put a little bit of our gluten-free quinoa noodles, a little bit of the bolognese sauce on it, and then I always top it with fresh basil, which is also a green. The reason I always encourage you guys to add greens to 2 meals per day is that it's just a really easy way to check the box. We know that greens are rich in minerals and vitamins and phytonutrients, but by adding in greens to 2 meals per day, it's just a really quick and easy shortcut. You're already going to be in the kitchen preparing foods. Is there a way that you could lay it over a bed of greens if you're making a soup? I always love and encourage just throwing in a little bit of kale. Kale is a hearty green and it fares really well in a hot soup. Then for tonight's dinner, I'm going to be making tacos. And so whether I have it over a little bit of quinoa and arugula, or if I do have the shells with the family, what I will do is I will put the ground beef mixture in it. Then I will make like a coleslaw with cabbage and cilantro. And I will also either add in a little bit of arugula or some microgreens. You don't have to make complete separate meals for you and the rest of your family. You can just quickly enhance the nutrition by adding in greens. My absolute favorite insurance policy, and that is to make a morning smoothie or an afternoon smoothie if you need a little bit of a 2 p.m. pick-me-up. But adding in a daily smoothie checks that box immediately, one of the 2 meals per day. It's the easiest way to cram in a ton of nutrition in a really delicious, portable, and easy way. We grab these processed fast snacks because they're exactly that. They're fast, they're easy, and they're portable. You can do that with a smoothie. So I encourage you to look at any of like your favorite smoothie recipes. And if they don't have greens in them, add a handful of greens, especially like a spinach. You can't even taste it. The kale does have a little bit of a stronger taste. And then I am going to be adding in the smoothie that I'm making today. I am going to be adding in some microgreens. want to thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully you were able to pick up some really good tips and tricks to help with your overall feelings of productivity. And if you liked today's video, you could let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click. That way you don't miss a single video. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday.